according to Stephen and Gary Cooper, there are 5 areas that organizations need to prioritize on if they want to really harness that ingenuity, the creativity, the resourcefulness, and the energy that a healthy workforce has to offer. Interestingly enough, the 5 areas quoted in the article, the first one, and this actually kind of links in very much to what you're putting there in chat, is line management capability. The relationship between employees or an employee and their line manager can either unlock the employee's productivity or it can stifle it. And it can even go as far as disengaging even the most motivated employee in a business. Line managers need to have higher levels of emotional intelligence and empathy. Time spent with their people, as in listening to, supporting, collaborating as a priority and an essential part of their role. Now, many managers know this and they actually want to do more of it, but often, certainly when they're kind of in middle management kind of roles, they've got pressure being put on them from above for more kind of task-driven priorities. Their senior managers are chasing them for reports, for information, etc., which takes away the time that they then have to focus on their people. So line management capability is actually one of the areas. It's occupational health, actually making use of the expertise that is available in many organisations within their occupational health expertise, and actually getting occupational health and the kind of the senior leaders of organisations to have conversations around how they can actually help and support the health and well-being of their staff. Prevention. Now, prevention is a subject that I have been speaking about long before the pandemic. I truly believe that organisations have been approaching health and well-being from totally the wrong perspective historically. Certainly pre-pandemic, the norm was reactive, what I call the sticking plaster approach. Wait until somebody's poorly and goes off ill and then offer them some form of support. Some organisations try to be a little bit more proactive and we're offering perhaps gym memberships or held occasional wellbeing days and things like that. But you know what? It takes an awful lot more than that, than a gym membership to prevent burnout and enable the growth of a happy and healthy workforce. We also learn from the pandemic. The pandemic messed out in just about everybody. The majority of employers were displaying an impressive level of agility and flexibility, risk-taking, empathy and compassion. And that resulted in a real shared sense of purpose and real trust developing between employees and their leaders, as employees were looking to the leaders to steer the way through for guidance through the kind of all the uncertainty and the unknown. Sure that we actually continue to maintain and further develop that shared purpose and understanding, to continue building that trust and strengthening relationships. And last but not least, and actually Joanna actually popped it into chat, inclusivity, but specifically in relation, not just, you know, I'm not saying just specifically in relation to health, but one area to think about is that link between inclusivity and productivity. And just because a team member has a chronic illness, it shouldn't imply that they're going to be any less productive. Managers need to focus more on capacity rather than incapacity. And certainly, you know, in my experience, I found that often employees who have health challenges are some of the most resourceful and conscientious employees. But a lot of it is to do with our attitude and mindset from the line manager, from the organisation, and we see their illness first, whereas we should be seeing the individual and looking at their capacity rather than the incapacity. So focus on these 5 areas within our organisations, then this should help us create work that is more regenerative. Employees should will feel fulfilled and able to do some of their very best work to be at the most productive without that risk of fatigue, exhaustion and burnout. Webinar, we're going to be exploring how you can develop sustainable and regenerative ways of working that will support the emotional and physical well-being of yourself, of your team, your organisation, enabling more productive and fulfilling work.